Hey guys, welcome to Goku of Light One Piece discussion. And pretty much today's topic is going to be a pretty popular one that I think that a lot of people in general in the community like to speculate about. So I figured I should put in the time to discuss it. Now, necessarily, this, so you know, going from here, the majority of what I'm going to be reading off, or the thoughts I'm going to be giving out, are not my own. They are pretty much shared thoughts, something that it's pretty much a thread on Oro Jackson. I'm pretty sure a lot of you know what Oro Jackson is. If you don't, look below in the description and you'll see a link to exactly what I'm talking about. There's a thread, it's a forum. And if you know who Beck26 is, which a lot of you should, if you don't, just look below and you'll be sure to find out. He posted this theory, and I read it and I thought it was a great theory. And so I wanted to share it with you guys and pretty much discuss what I agree with and a few little things that I think are a little different from his theory. But I want to say 95% along the way, I would agree with Beck. And so I wanted just to go and put this theory out there. Like I said below, go ahead and click the link. I think you guys should all do that if you haven't already, if you're on your browser, just so as I make certain key points and I go through this theory, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you want the best understanding of this theory and have the best entertainment value of it, then I would think that you should click the link below. So I'll go ahead and give you a second to do that. Alright, if you haven't clicked it, that's your fault. Now going from here. So going from the very beginning, he states that, who will be the new Straw Hat, and that he throws out 4 candidates that he thinks are the most qualified. And then obviously he's going to supply his evidence and facts and all that later on. So let's go from the very beginning. Who will complete the Straw Crew? These guys in order. Jinbei, Tashigi, Elbaf, Warrior from Elbaf, and Smoker. Okay, so these are his 4 picks. He's saying that we will get 4 new Straw Hats. Yes, 4. Okay, so, while I do think we're going to get some new Straw Hats, 4 is a big number. Let's go from there, though. Alright. So it says, yes, Jinbei, Tashigi, and a Warrior from Elbaf and Smoker. Now, I know most of you will be skeptics, since every One Piece fan's got their own set of Nakama wish list and own set of theories, but please bear with me. Now, obviously I'm not going to read through the entire thing, and this is why I'm telling you to click the link. Because if you want to take the time to read everything thoroughly, like you want every step of his theory, then like I said, you need to click the link below. He put in the time more than just about anybody out there that I can name off the top of my head to do this theory correctly. So you want to click the link and get a better understanding. He has tons of pictures, tons of information and facts behind everything that he says. But I'm going to skim through the majority of it because I don't want to be sitting here for an hour doing this discussion. So let's go through it a little bit more. So far, Luffy got 8 crew members. We all know he said that he wanted at least or about 10 crew members before heading out to Grand Line when the series was released on 1997. But in our long arc, Luffy decided to enter the Grand Line after taking Nami back. He got just about 4 people by that time, and stating that I can get more in the Grand Line. This was in 1999. So somewhere along the line, Oda's plan changed. Obviously, during the course of the series, we know that it was extended. It was originally planned for 5 years. And then through the popularity of the series and him wanting to continue it, it was extended. So this is a big part of what he's revolving this certain thread around. Now let's keep continuing. And at least 10 Nakama, I think we can pretty much assume that 10 crew members except Luffy is just a benchmark, but it could be more. The at least statement was restated at the One Piece Green Secret Pieces, which if you don't know what that is, I believe is a data book. Or it could be some other One Piece special, I don't know. I'm going to assume it's the data book from what he's stating. Now, if you look below me, you'll see, or not below, sorry for that, if you look above me, I'm going to do my best to include a few screenshots. So if you look above me, you'll see one of the pictures that he posted, and I think is a very important one, and he highlights some of the stuff as far as, like in red, what the keywords that are stated right here, and how it says at least, and this is, an early art picture done for the One Piece manga. So continuing forward. Now, since we know that everything was planned around 5 years, we're going to see some differences in certain parts, like the Archipelago arc. The Archipelago arc, he states that One Piece was just planned to run for 5 years, like I just said, and our long arc was released in 1999, meaning that Oda decided to extend the series longer and insert some new characters by that time. He inserted the 11 SuperNovas last minute before the Archipelago arc. So that that's something to look at right there. Now, do you know who he included in the crew at that time? Give you 2 guesses. Only 2 girls. Robin. So going from there, Nico Robin. I assume Nico Robin was inserted into the crew because Oda had turned the series from a fun action-packed shonen into a fun action-packed, shonen with some deep shit. So this is what basically he goes on to state, essentially saying that Luffy himself isn't the mature character that's gonna be the archaeologist, and he's right. So obviously we needed someone else. So from that point on, we get a mixture of characters. We're gonna get different characters. I would say to apply for what we don't get out of Luffy to an extent. That's how I feel towards it. That's not what he states. That's how I feel after the whole Nico thing. Okay, and I'll bring up why I'm saying that later on. So going forward. So here is his point about Nico Robin. He says, Oda says and already planned ending the series, and even though he adjusted and inserted things to add elements to the story is pretty much set in stone. So my point is even without Nico Robin, the Straw Hat Pirates are destined to fight the world government and the Marines as one of the last, if not the last enemy in the series. So basically saying that even if they didn't discover everything about the history of the D's and everything else, that the Straw Hat Pirates were destined to fight the world government no matter what end series. He believes that is a key thing. That so by that I'm picking up that even after the Arlong arc, he thinks that they would have fought if the series wasn't extended. Maybe that's what he means. I'm not sure. Sure, he'll be able to comment on that, but we'll continue with it. But the question is, even if we include Nico Robin in the mix, should not there be a Straw Hat whose dream is to change the world government system? Because no one in the crew would be fighting against corruption anytime soon, unless they need a rescue or avenge a friend. And no, not even Robin wanted to change or fight the system. All she wanted to do was learn the true history. Robin never intended to fight the one who erased the history. And here's and again, since he included some good pictures, I'll include this one above me. And it shows basically what Nico's quoted as saying is, even if I die down here, it was inevitable. I'm tired of this kind of life. All I wanted to know was history. So she wasn't after any kind of revenge. Even though the Hara and everything else was destroyed, that was never Robin's goal. She only came in looking to discover true history, showing, the purity of some of the Straw Hats to a degree. Let's continue on. Just when it hits me, someone actually fits this description, and he was introduced way too early in the series. Now, who do you think Beck is talking about? None other than Smoker. He's talking about the stray dog of the Marines. I will assume that Oda already had the Straw Hat Pirates completed even before he started the series, well until he inserted Nico Robin in. Then when the series changed some things and extended its story for almost 20 years now. The point I'm trying to make is that these characters' recruitment points that are supposed to be in the original cast were delayed because of Robin. And their recruitment was delayed because they played important roles as the final stretch of the series, especially Smoker. To be specific, Smoker's dream directly complements Nico Robin's Tashigi's dream. It is directly related to Zoro, and the Elbaf recruitment is directly related to Usopp. And we all know that Jinbei is more or less a lock to be in the crew. Another point is just like Jinbei, Smoker, and Tashigi, we were introduced early in the series, and the Elbaf Warriors is hinted early in the series. So, basically what he's stating is that a lot of these previous crew members that we're going to get coming into the new world were stated way too early in the series. And that's what we're getting from here. And going into it, like I said, I don't want to read every sentence line for line. So I'm going to go a little forward and basically going a little forward. He basically goes into depth though, and you should read it if you want the more in-depth information. But he basically goes in depth with Jinbei, and the Elbaf Warrior and Tashigi and their connection to early in the story and going forward. And now we're given some concept art, and I'll be sure to include this. If you look above me, you'll see the pictures that I'm talking about. Now, in these pictures, I think this is important to note. It shows that Zoro was originally going to be part of Buggy's crew. And another thing to note is that Nami is originally planned to be a melee fighter. Now, I think that's important for the fact that, that could mean that while we do need another swordsman, a melee fighter would also could fit the spot. So that could really help with his Elboff concept. So that works. But we'll continue forward. Here we see that Oda Sensei has already decided on Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, Nami, and Brook. So basically, he confirms who's been decided at this point. Now, this is something as I was going over the theory too, or reading it, I was gonna note, and I made it in my notes to bring up. He says Usopp's character is set, but he's not, because as we can see, Usopp was originally planned to be the vice captain in the sketches you look above me, and Usopp's character changed. He's not the vice captain, and he's in fact got what I would call some of the traits of the other character that comes later into play, which will be introduced in the other sketch, or the theory as we continue forward. I'm sure he'll bring him up. And there's another character that he introduces that has relation to Smoker and Usopp, and we'll go forward on that on the sketches. So now let's examine the other characters that Oda intended to put in the crew. Now, if you look at this other screenshot above me, you'll see that essentially there was a guy with a bandana covered the side of his face, and he essentially states that Zoro got the bandana. That makes sense. And now he says essentially that we have the polo wearing reindeer swordsman who essentially becomes Chopper with the chibi size of the shipwright, which also makes sense. So that trend of logic right there is all really good. I agree with that. Now, right here, where the whole plant thing, obviously, and being a weapon maker, that obviously went to Usopp. That's keen or clear as day, in my opinion. Now, the thing that I'm noting is that the guy that was a plant user was also a swordsman. So, and this is where he says that essentially Smoker comes into play, because this other guy was a swordsman, and we see that Chopper was previously a smoker. So essentially he's applying that Sanji and Chopper both being smoking related correlates, plus the past character of the plant user into Smoker. And this is where he pulls in a lot of why Smoker will be into the crew. Now, this is where essentially I don't agree. I don't think that Smoker will be a Straw Hat. While he's one of my favorite characters in the series, I think that he'll be part of the Revolutionary Army, and that's where he'll stay. And he'll be part of the new world government regime when the series does a whole 180 at the very end, and we see something else established. Because even this is the thing. Even if the world government is destroyed, and fucking everyone gets their fucking dream or whatever the fuck, there has to be a new government or a new regime. Nothing's gonna function without one. Somebody has to be in charge. So that's one thing to know. Because, look, even if Luffy defeats everybody, he's king of pirates, whatever, take out the gore, say, whatever train of logic you want to use, he's still not, gonna lead the world. He's still a fucking silly pirate, and he still has fun, and he's more concerned with having a good time. And for all we know, he could even die at the end of the series. So obviously there has to be some people that are more suited to become the leaders. And while we know Kobe will be somebody important in the government, I don't think Kobe pulls rank over Smoker. So, and that's just, even if he leaves the government and he becomes a revolutionary and all that, well, chances are they'll destroy the world government, and whatever they reform as the new world government, someone like Smoker would be on top of that, I believe, or included in the very top. So that's where I don't agree with that part of it. But he obviously has really good points of why. Bringing in the former character now, I think the smoking goes on to Sanji. I think that's just where that happens, and then we basically just see the traits of the character divided into different people. The only trait we haven't seen is the swordsman part, and I think that's keen in this because I'll bring this up back at the end when I give my opinions, but I think we're missing a swordsman in the crew. Now, getting towards the bottom. Let's go through this. Like I said, want to run through this. If you want to read it and check it all out yourself, feel free. I'm telling you again, Beck 26 below in the description. Click the link. Take a minute. Go ahead, catch up, figure out where we're at. All right. So give you a minute. I'm trying to keep being persistent on telling you to click this link and check it out because obviously it has tons of information and it could really help you understand this discussion better, or the point of it in a sense, or where I'm going to come from. Because I'm skimming across the facts. He gives every single sentence. He put a lot of time into this. So let's continue. Now he shows pictures essentially of we got a picture of Nami. And it shows that Nami originally was to be a melee fighter holding a giant axe. She had robotic features. Essentially, she had like what I would call a cyborg arm, kind of like Edward. So more of like a, what would you call to be honest, I don't remember in Full Metal Alchemist what they call the different extensions that he has, the different arm parts. If you want to comment below because you remember, go ahead, feel free. But pretty much the arm mill, or whatever it is that they use, basically cybernetic arm, the robot arm. They gave those features to Frankie. So, and we also know that Frankie's the shipwright. So that's keen right there. I don't think look too far into that. As far as the chibi feature, we get that with Chopper. So now, the thing that comes into play coming towards the end, he shows towards the pictures, because we're going to go into a little bit more of the references for the people he picked. Now, he's just showing us, a lot of the old stuff. Now, going into this, he shows Tashigi, and she has a polo, and this, how Chopper had a polo, and he was a swordsman. Obviously, Chopper's not a swordsman no more. Now, looking at Nami, she was going to be a melee fighter. Obviously, she's not a melee fighter no more. She doesn't have a staff, nothing like that. She just has her weather, her weather control. So, he, correlates that this equals Tashigi. Now, continue down. Now, he says, have you guys noticed there's something about Luffy's recruitment on East Blue and Grand Line? Yes, it's actually got a pattern. And this is where he, kind of basically puts together a pattern. And this is another thing that I'll bring up a point about that I essentially don't agree with, but we'll go through what he stated first. So, in East Blue, we have Zoro, Nami, Gamon, Usopp, Sanji, and Crocus. In Grand Line, we have Chopper, Nico Robin, Vivi, Inkaru, Frankie, Brooks, and Rayleigh. Now, the thing that essentially matters right here is, and then, we have the question marks for the New World. We don't know the order for the New World. Now, it says, notice that this is in every C. The first recruitment is a male, the second recruitment is a female. The next two recruits are male. It's just simple coincidence, right? Let's examine this a little deeper. After the second female recruitment appears, Luffy will invite someone that will decline the offer to travel aboard the ship. The female recruitment permanently arrived at the same time the third male recruit joins. After the fourth male recruit joins, the crew will encounter a former member of Roger's Pirates. Now, that's basically a reoccurring pattern that he's saying that we get. Now, it's not the pattern that I disagree with. The pattern itself, makes sense. And putting that logic together was pretty cool. Props to for Bex. Now, coming into it, we're going to look into where he states, like I said, if you want to read it, go ahead and continue to read forward. But he's pretty much just going to continue to go in depth with the pattern and how the pattern connects and parallelisms, and different similarities that he notes from each character. So if you need more evidence to why he states this, then go get your evidence. Check out the link. He'll give you all the evidence you need. Now, I want to get into basically his recruitment, his process, or what he lists right here, because this is where I felt it was a little off. He says first male recruitments. Zoro, Chopper. Both guys were introduced while being tied up, literally and figuratively, onto something. Now that makes sense. That one's spot on. Both of them had also been known or had a reputation of being monsters. That's true too. Luffy saved things important to them, and in their recruitment arc, they helped Luffy fight a boss and pretty much hated in his own turf. All that's spot on. Even the female part, is spot on. I'm not even going to go into that. The females, they have a pattern as well. So that's spot on. And that's why, to a degree, I agree with the 90% of this theory. Now going into spoiler number 3, which is third recruitment. It says Captain Usopp and Cyborg Frankie. And it says both were introduced to be troublemakers in their town. Usopp was a troublemaking liar in Syrup Village. Frankie was a gang leader and was living at the outskirts of Water 7. Now, do I have to state what's wrong right here? Now, if you listen to the pattern that he put right there, there's a key difference from what actually happened and what he just said. Now, don't get me wrong, everything else has been spot on, and it's a great theory, so don't think I'm trying to make anything out of it. But so right here where it says third male recruitment, Usopp and Frankie, that's not right. That's where it's kind of off. Sanji, guys, come on. Like, we just skip Sanji? Does he not count as a recruit, or did I miss something? Is Sanji not a StrawHat? Does he not get the same respect? Is Beck another Zoro over Sanji guy? Is that what this is? Fuck if I know. But it's cool. You know, leave Sanji out. We're just gonna continue forward. Both recruits are connected to associate of the former owner of the Straw Hats. Now, seeing this is what right here in this part, all your logic's spot on. You know, your connection between Usopp and Frankie and the former crew, all that's correct. You know, so like I said, all the logic's good. But I think right there you're pulling a little bit just to make the relevance more important over the facts. You know, because of the fact that Sanji. You know. So. I'm sure you'll check out this video, but why don't you comment below and let me know why you've left out Sanji? I'm sure everybody's interested to know, Beck. Now, continuing forward. Fourth male recruits, Sanji and Brook. And so, obviously, you did include Sanji, but he's not third. So when I'm saying he's left out, I'm not saying that he's not on the list. Obviously, he's going to be on your list. But the jumping of back and forth, like, so you want to connect Sanji to Brook, is what I'm seeing right here. No. See, because here's the thing. Going a little bit more into it, in the concept art that we look at and everything that we're gonna pull up, you know, and even farther in this thread, if we, you know, when we get to some of the pictures that you use, because the pictures that I'm going to use is a picture from your thread. Frankie was originally going to be in the crew before Brook, for one. You know, or no, apologize. Brook was going to be in the crew before Frankie, and so I believe that Frankie's relevance in this isn't really there. And on top of that, Sanji is there in the crew prior. I think it revolves more around the big three. The big three is the important thing here. Yeah, no. No. So, going forward. Like I said, spot on, great theory. Don't agree with the Sanji hate. Alright. Now, fourth recruitment. We're both introduced to be holding a thing that produces smoke. Both were shown in the recruitment arcs aboard a floating vessel. Both recruits were raised or members of a pirate or pirate group. Now, saying that, I don't feel holds much weight, because majority of people in the show are going to be raised around pirates. It's a pirate-themed show. So, you know, saying that they were, you know, one's a member of a crew and the other one's associated with pirates is splitting hairs. I don't think that's relevant, but in some of the other stuff, I believe that the fact, like I said, of this other people getting smoking ability is more relevant to the reason why Smoker will not be in the crew, other than it being relevant to their recruitment process. Now, continue forward. Now this is a good point. This is one of the ones I like. It says, Luffy specifically mentioned and required the filling of their positions. So, he required specifically that we need a cook and I need music. Obviously, though, he wants a good time. That's, so it is a connection, but I think Luffy's just kind of funny like that. Now, continuing forward, he basically lists all these different qualifications, and like I said, I don't want to go into all of them, but it basically states that like they should be outcast, they should be all these different categories or things that all the current Straw Hats meet requirement-wise, and that the future members should meet. So go down, check out the list, give you a second, look through them. Want to give you time to go back and forth. So go ahead, check out the list. All right. So if you looked at the list, essentially you're caught up, you're up to speed. I hope it's so. If not, that's kind of your issue. Gave you a minute. So, and obviously if you're not caught up, and because you're not wanting to go back and forth, then I'll just try to give you the best summary I can. But essentially it's qualifications, marks, things about like she has to be a good person. Luffy or even, Nami to a degree has to believe you're a great person. You have to have something special about you. The aftermath of the arc you're introduced is supposed to have to do with your recruitment. So, and that's kind of important too. I don't necessarily mean that like the introduction of the character, but the recruitment arc of the character. So, for example, like if Tashigi was to join the crew, Tashigi would have to join the crew after the aftermath of something big happening with Smoker or her history, maybe Wano Kingdom, things like that. There would have to be some relevance to her past or reason why she would join the aftermath. That's what he means by that. Now, let's go forward. So he says that Zoro foreshadowed Chopper and Jinbei. And, I think in some of these spots we for sure have foreshadowing, but I don't know if every single one. Like, for example, the doctor one, Chopper. Yes. He's like, a doctor's a good idea. Obviously we need a fucking doctor. So yeah, I can see that. Now the one where it's like, let me look for it. He says, now look at the pattern in Zoro's dress. Look at Jinbei's facial marks. And this wasn't Arlong Park and isn't in Zoro's line in the panel exactly what Jinbei's situation is right now. I don't know about that. I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but possible. Now, Nami's foreshadowing. Now, right here, where it says, Nami foreshadows Robin and Tashigi. I see the Robin one, obviously. She's wearing Robin's clothes. That's obviously key. Now, right here where it shows her wearing the glasses that are stated as Tashigi's glasses. I don't know about that. Really don't, because another strong possibility, and another video I might be coming out with pretty soon, is that Monette, Moniette, however you want to say her name, is alive. That's a strong possibility. And in fact, if she is alive, I believe that would be foreshadowing for her. I believe that has more to do with the fact that we're missing an astronomer. That's keen on a lot of these theories as far as things go. I believe we're missing an astronomer. But let's continue forward. So Sanji foreshadows Brook and Smoker, basically gives the different foreshadowings. And, he lists the patterns now of the characters that he's seen, so forth. And now he tries to, basically state that, Grand Line, Jinbei will be the first male recruit, Tashigi will be the second male recruit, Kimono and Momo are the failed recruits, Elbaf Warrior is the third male recruit, and Smoker is the fourth male recruit. And that, Scooper Gabon will be the former Roger pirate that they meet. Now, if you want to see exactly every single reason he included these people, like I said, read through it because he's pretty much put a post for every single person that he's included, like in depth, like every single person, Elbaf Warrior, Tashigi, everyone has like tons of information and clues and spoilers. You know, he puts together his own links, so that's great. And now this is where I'm gonna a little bit more just me talking. So while I think a lot of the evidence is there that we will be getting a new crew member soon, I don't believe that it's all the people that he stated. While his trail of evidence is great and his reasoning behind we're getting these members is good, I disagree for a certain extent. Like I don't think we're getting 4. 4 is a lot. 4? I'm not quite sure. And if we were to get 4, if let's go off this. If we were to get 4, I don't think it would be that 4. I don't think that we only have 3 girls in an entire crew of like 13 people. That's just too much dick. You know, I don't see it happening. I see Oda including 2 females. 2, yes. And so I think that's a key difference. I agree with the lineup that you had stated. The only key difference that I'm gonna throw out there as a substitute is that we take out Smoker because he will be part of the Revolutionary Army and the New World Government in the future, and we put in Monette, or Monette, however you want to say her name. You know, essentially, you know, but the astronomer. You know, she you know, this is key right here because she was shown in the flashbacks to be an astronomer. She has a Logia Devil Fruit, and you know, she was just kind of left off. You know, we've seen her heart. We've seen all these different forms of possibilities of her dying, foreshadowing of her death. Now, let me ask you this: out of the characters we know in the series, how many of them actually get flashbacks and back information and relevance and, like, say, an important job in the series that don't join the crew? I'll let you think about it for a second. I can't. You know, I don't think there is any. You know, essentially, it's a little different when you have people like Vivi that could have been in the crew, but she's royalty. She has a kingdom to run when Cobra dies and all this other shit. So people like that make sense. But what about Monette? What do we know about her? What do we know? I know that she has a sister that didn't even really get damaged. She got scared. I know that Sugar's supposed to be her sister. Why introduce this fact? Why tell us that? Why tell us that that's her sister? And why have her be one of the only people in the family that didn't really take any damage? I think there's many relevant reasons. You know, I think we need to find out more about Monette's past first. You know, I can't give too much of a stretch of how she's alive or how she survived. You know, I'm working on the theory video, so that might come. I don't know when. You know, we'll just say that's coming. But I think that she's going to be part of the Straw Hat, and I believe that she'll be the last Straw Hat to join out of that crew. You know, I believe Jinbei does join first. I believe Tashigi does join second. And I think that, you know, you're spot on with an Elbaf Warrior. Of course, we need one. We need one to essentially keep Usopp's character in place and to push him forward. Because at this point, he's just kind of a weenie. You know, he's lame. He's disappointing. You know, and that's what I gotta say. You know, as far as the characters, you know, that the Straw Hats after the time skip, if we had to look at the most disappointing characters, it's probably a tie between Usopp and Frankie. They're both just horrible. You know, Frankie's probably worse, to be honest, but Usopp is pretty bad. You know, you get hyped and you expect this new character. Maybe it's even gonna be the big four, the big fucking four. You think that's what we're gonna get? No. Nope. Usopp still is a coward, still a bitch. So that's a big thing right there. I think we need an Elbaf Warrior to inspire him. We need him to be brave. So I think that's the thing. Now, going into Monette and her place in this, if this isn't obvious, she's a astronomer. You know, she's going to help them get to space. How else do they get to space? Let me tell you that. Let me ask you that question. You seen Enel did it? You know, you seen how he did it? But that was like some god shit, obviously. He calls himself a god. You know, so to see the Straw Hats have an arc, a space arc, we're going to need some big things happen. And if it doesn't happen, I think there's another couple possibilities. And I will be doing a theory on the space arc. So be sure to check that out when it comes out. A lot of other theories coming out pretty soon. Yeah, so, you know, like I said, going through this discussion, it was a great one by Beck26. If you just watched the video and you didn't take the time to read the thread, you're missing out. Be sure to go to the thread, and if you're not on AutoJackson, register and comment on some of these theories. These are some of the best theories in One Piece. I'm going to be doing a few more of his, you know, so if you like this, comment below, let me know. Let me know that you like it so I produce content as fast as I can. And obviously, you know, today's video is a little bit different. You know, I included an intro, I included things like that. Let me know what you think about the quality. If you think the quality is better, does it matter to you? Do you not give a fuck? Like, what? Let me know. Because I think personally, it helps with the production of the video. I think it makes it better for you to watch as a viewer. You know, so yeah, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe. More coming real soon. Beck26, shout out to him. Great dude. Thank you for letting me use your theory and discuss it openly and even criticize it to a degree. I know a lot of people don't like being criticized. So, but for the most part, I was spot on agreeing with you. It's a really good theory. Just for the Sanji thing in the future, check your Sanji facts a little bit better. A little bit better. Because I don't think certain people will appreciate that. So yeah, this has been Goku of Light, and I'm signing out.